Good morning, everyone. It is Motivation Monday with yours truly, Dr. K. Let's get up, get this day started, and let's see what is in store for us. Good morning, good morning, good morning. As you come on, do me a favor, like and share so that we can see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm super excited. Cannot wait to see all of your chats and your posts, to see what's going on with you. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for tuning in on this morning. I love you. I appreciate you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Michonne. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Getting myself up and situated. Hey, Christina. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Do me a favor. Go ahead, like and share, because I want to make sure that I can see all of you and we can share the word this morning. I know y'all see those seeds in the background. Like, what is she talking about this morning? Are we sowing seeds? Well, y'all know we always sowing seeds. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Sandra. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning. Yeah, I had to wet my whistle so we can get this thing going. Good morning, Doc. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and like and share for us as you come on. I pray that everybody had a beautiful Mother's Day, because I know mine was absolutely, as my girlfriend Annette would say, fantabulous. Yes, we had a great time fellowshipping, spending time with one another on yesterday. So it was good for me. I was with my family. So good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. You gotta know it's spring, so this throat, I'm gonna ask y'all to keep praying for us, sister, because we're gonna press through. So we're not gonna let this stop us at all. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank everybody for tuning in. So this morning, my alarm goes off as it normally does, and usually I'm up. But this morning, last night when I went to bed, and my husband and I were up a little bit late, and I was like, Lord, please let me sleep through the night. It's almost like I have to ask him, can I sleep through the night? Because I have to get up, I gotta pray, I gotta go in my closet sometimes. It's all kind of things going on, and not that there's never a time that there's nothing going on, but I'm like, Lord, I just really want to sleep through the night tonight. And he was so gracious to let a sister sleep through the night last night. With that being said, when I got up, I'm like, Lord, what is it that we're talking about this morning? What do you want me to share? How are we moving this morning? What is it that you want me to share with your people? And, he brought me to a very familiar scripture of text, and that's Mark 4, 4 chapter verses 3 through 20. And I was like, okay, where are we going with this, Lord? I'm like, I understand. I know what you're saying, but I want to make sure that I'm as obedient as I can be within this. And, of course, it's a parable. And, early on in my walk, I was like, God, trying to understand all these stories and all of these parallels and exactly what it talks about. So this morning I was like, okay, let me look up exactly what a parable is. And, it's a short story as it was defined in Merriam-Webster, told by Jesus Christ, where he's teaching a moral or a spiritual lesson. But then I went a little bit deeper to understand the word parable, its Greek meaning, which simply is parables, and it means a comparison. That's it. Comparing the known from the unknown. So I was like, okay, because sometimes when we're reading, it's like, okay, what am I reading? I don't understand. What is this thing talking about? So this morning, as I went through and I'm listening to the story, and it says, Jesus is telling this story. He's like, it's a farmer who went out to sow his seeds. And if you know anything, good morning, Nora. If you know anything about farming, and when they throw seeds, they used to throw them. They just kind of throw the seeds out. That means that some seeds are going to, when this farmer was throwing his seeds out, some are going to fall along the path. So that means the birds are going to come eat them. And some fell in rocky places, just like, we're walking. So in those rocky places, not that much soil. So, and it may allow for plants or whatever to grow, but not so much. Some fell on thorns, which means that, when they started growing, they would be choked out. And then some fell on good and fertile soil, and they were able to grow 30, 60, 100 times. So I was like, okay, I'm processing the whole parable. I'm like, I get it, because the farmer is like God. He's throwing his seed being the word. I'm like, okay, so in some cases, there are some things that are going to happen. And just track with me as I dissect this thing, because I went through it and I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so when I think about people who are going to be like Mark 4:15, some people are going to be like that path, where the seed is sown and they're going to hear it. But as soon as the enemy comes and says anything, any kind of little trick, any kind of adversity, they don't have tunnel vision. They'll be quick to get off the beaten path. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna abandon ship as soon as anything comes. So that was the first type of person. I said, okay, Lord, show me this next person. Who are they? He's like, okay, let me show you. So the next one will be like those rocky places. When we talk about the person who are in those rocky places, that's those of us who receive it when it's all joy, when it's a good thing and we're fair weather, so to speak. So we don't have deep roots and beliefs. So that means it's not going to last. So if everything is going good, I can receive it. It works. Okay, throw these seeds over here. It's going to work. But as soon as I slip into a place where things are not going the way I need them or want them to go, I kind of track off into a different perspective. So I was like, okay, Lord, I get you. I hear you on that. And then he was like, but then there are others where the seed is like thorns. And I'm like, they hear the word, but these are our people who are consumed with the world and everything that's going on. I got this going on. I'm planning for this. I'm doing that. I got graduation going on. I got this coming up. I got that. We getting ready for the baby. We getting ready for this. We're about to buy a new house. We got all of these things going on. So I hear the word, but I'm so consumed with my life, with me, with my bank account, with all of the stuff that I want, I need, all of these different things that, I can't stay focused on what God is saying. So even though the seed has been sown, I read the word, I can only take it from a surface level because all the stuff that's going on around me is choking it up out of me. So I can't see it. I said, okay, Lord, I got you. And then we have the other ones, where the seed is sown on good soil. We hear the word, we accept it, and we actually do something with it. We're not just hearers of the words, we're also doers of the word. So we're going to do something and we'll reap a harvest that will be 30, 60, or 100 times. Now, this is where that thing got good for me because I was like, so many of us fall into one of those first three categories. But even though the amount of us that will fall into category 4, where we will be hearers and doers of the word, and we will reap 30, 60, or 100%. This is where I was like, okay, Lord, break it down and explain it for us, sister, because I'm like, if it's sown on my good soil, if I'm a hearer, I'm a doer, I'm a believer of the word, that means it should just happen 100 times, no matter what, right? No matter what, right? In my mind. But then he was like, no, because I'm going to produce you're going to be able to produce based on your capacity. I'm not going to give you more than what you can handle. I'm not going to give you more than you'll be able to manage. And yeah, in some cases, you'll get exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think, because that's what you can handle. In our mind, we always like to try to, good morning, Tiff, we try to play it safe. We're like, okay, God, give me this little bit because I can manage it. So when that exceedingly abundantly comes in, he's like, you can manage this too. So if you're getting that 30 time, 60 time, or even that 100 time, chances are you're in a position where you're going to be able to bless others, where you're going to be able to help some other people. That means you've shown yourself not to be somebody who heard it, and just because things look good and they're going good now, you can receive it all. No, you've received that word has been sown on good and fertile soil. So I want us to really think about that. And I want to ask the question, what kind of believer are you? Where are you in this walk? What are you doing? Are things working out for you? Or even when they're not working out for you, are you still believing God for what his word says? Are the seeds still falling on fertile soil? And I was just dissecting a little bit. And I said, Lord, there are so many different seeds that you've given us. There's a seed of word, like in Luke 8:11, where it says the seed is the word of God. Like, do we understand when we are here saying, oh, I'm going to reap and I'm going to sow and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that? The seed is his word. Do I have it down in me? Am I immersed in it? Do I use it intentionally? Not just for me and my family, but for other people. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Thank you. Then I started to look at that faith seed in Matthew 17:20. And it says, all we need is faith the size of a grain of a mustard seed. I can't even, look at the seeds behind me. Those seeds are pretty large. We can see them, but a mustard seed is so small. Can you imagine having faith that size and being able to speak to mountains and they will have to move? Do you have that kind of faith? So I shouldn't be saying, can you imagine? You should be over there saying, absolutely, I can imagine, because I move things every day. I call things as they are and as I see them, because I know the power that work in me, and that thing just moves out my way. It doesn't matter that the enemy says that I'm not going to have, or that I'm not going to be able to do it. It doesn't matter that man says, well, you're not going to be able to do this thing. God says, if I have the faith of a grain of a mustard seed, I can move a mountain. So those words you say, you can move them out of my way. It doesn't matter what your plans for me are. It's about what his plans for me are in Jeremiah 29:11. And he says his plans are for me to prosper. So I don't have to worry about what man says. Then I looked at that prosperity seeds in 2 Corinthians 9:6, where it says, wherever you sow sparingly, you will reap sparingly. Wherever you sow graciously, you will reap graciously. So ask yourself, how are you sowing and how are you reaping? And it don't always mean money. I'm not just talking about finances. I'm talking in every facet of your life and everything that you're doing. How are you sowing? What kind of believer are you? Do you just believe it for yourself? Do you just believe it for your family? Is it, does that word just apply to you? Are you forgiving for yourself? Are you forgiving to others? Or is it just, forgiveness is just for me? When I do something wrong, I want God to forgive me and I want it to work out on my behalf. How is that thing working out for you? So we got to think about it. What kind of person are we? And then lastly, I was like, okay, the God seed, 1 John 3-9, it says, no one born of God will continue to sin because God remains in him. So who am I? Am I a born again believer? Is he within me? Because if he's within me, when I walk, it moves different. I can't be the same person. I'm not the same person. So when people see you, with us, every time people want to put us in that box, they want to remind us of what we used to do, of how we used to be. As I think we're getting ready to go home this week to celebrate my sister and my soon-to-be brother-in-law's I do barbecue, back at home. And, sometimes when you get around people who are familiar with who you were, not who you are, familiar with who you were, they want to remind you about who you were. And it's nothing, like I always say, it's nothing wrong with taking a quick look in the rearview mirror and remembering from whence you came. But remember, we're not driving backwards. We're moving forward. So yeah, maybe I was an ex this. Maybe I did used to do that. Maybe I hung around this group of people, and not that I'm ever cutting anybody off, but I'm not that person anymore. I can't do the things that I used to do because it looks different, because at my core, I know who I am. I know what God has done for me. I know the seeds. I know the seeds that he has thrown out to me. I know that, I've taken that word. It's been thrown on good soil for me. So it looks different. And I take those things of the past and I say to myself, remember when you were, but not anymore. Remember, God's grace and mercy has forgiven you. And every day he's going to show up with some fresh grace and mercy, because he knows that, guess what? You're going to fail sometimes. You're going to, as they say, you're going to backslide, but he's going to be there to catch you with open arms. So understand, family, as I was reading again, Mark 4, chapter 4, verses 3-20, that thing, it started to hit me just a little bit different, because I'm like, when we think about it, we're in different phases of our life. I won't even say different people. When I broke this thing down, I was like, okay, in some seasons of my life, I was, the word was being thrown on me. It was thrown to me. The seed was being spread, but it was thrown on a path, and I couldn't receive it. So other people came and they ate it, just like the birds. They came and they took it, because I was so caught up in what was going on. And I saw it like, oh my goodness, I got to make sure I'm okay. Or here comes those rocky places in life. And God was like, here, I'm throwing this seed out to you again. But I was so busy. I had no deep roots. There was soil there, but it wasn't deep roots. So when that thing began to sprout, because it wasn't deeply rooted, the sun came out and scorched it, it was easy to wither up and go away. So I was like, dog, this thing ain't working out. I thought if my faith walk was good, and it's like, yeah, your faith walk got to be all the way. Then it was those thorns, those times that I was around the wrong people, that I was in my own mind, I was doing the wrong things. I was trying to take myself. I was trying to do. So the thorns were just eating up everything, all the seed that was being sown. But in that good season of life, when those seeds are thrown on fertile ground and God starts to bless us and we're able to get that 30, 60, or 100 times harvest, it starts to look different. We start to believe different. We start to move different. Yes. Thank you, Tyson. I hear you, my sister. I see exactly what you're saying. We start to move. God is so amazing in all of the seasons of our life. It's not people. I don't want us to think, oh, I'm saying people, that's them. They're in a thorny season or they're this. No, we've all been through all of those seasons, because seasons of life are going to come. Just like every year, we're going to have fall, winter, summer, and spring. It's coming. So in the winter, what's going to happen? Things are going to die. It's going to get cold. We're all going to have those winter seasons when it's like, dog, it just don't feel good. It's not what I want it to be. But then here comes spring with fresh new opportunity. We can hear the birds chirping. Life looks different. It's like we start to get vibrant. We start planting new seeds. We're ready to rock and roll. Then here comes summer. Summer is popping. Everything is feeling good. We're out, we're moving, we're rocking and we're rolling. Oh, excuse me. And then comes fall, harvest time. But you have to make sure you have planted good seed. You have to make sure that you are prepared. It's not going to happen by happen chance. All of us not going to win no lotto. We're not going to win the faith lotto and be like, okay, I woke up today and it just looked like this. It doesn't work that way. It requires intentionality. So family, that's my word this morning. Sometimes it's like it's an all exciting word. It's pumped up, it's hype. And sometimes it's a teaching word. And this morning it was a teaching word. So I pray that you were able to receive it the way I did, because this morning I had a whole Bible study with myself before even coming on. So I pray nothing but God's blessings over each and every one of you. Ladies, I pray that you had a fantastic Mother's Day. And, for us, it just keeps on going. I pray traveling grace and mercy over you as you go to and from to work or wherever you might go. And I pray an extra special blessing and covering over you and your family for whatever season you may be in. Remember, the word of God are the seeds. Where are your seeds falling? What kind of believer are you? How are you showing yourself? I know, Tiff, I had to water my throat. That thing got so good, I forgot the water's right here. But I love y'all. I'll see you guys on Wisdom Wednesday. God bless you and have a fantastic Monday. Bye-bye.